How's it going, everybody? This is Cameron White with White Light Astrology, giving you guys your weekly forecast of what the heck is going on in the universe for September 4th through the 10th. That's Tuesday to Monday. And this week is, it's actually a lot crazier than I thought. I didn't realize how much was actually going on this week until I just wrote like all of this horoscope stuff down and was looking at all the charts and everything. There's a lot going on this week, and let's kind of just go straight into it. Tuesday is kind of interesting. We don't see too much happen, but it is going to be kind of interesting to see because the moon will enter Cancer on Tuesday and it'll make an opposition to Saturn. And Saturn is going to be going direct later on this week. And when we see the moon go into Cancer and oppose Saturn, we're also going to see Mars go back into that 29-degree Capricorn mark, where it will eventually be squaring Venus later on this week. And then, of course, it's going to go back into Aquarius. And it was around that sensitive spot where we had all the eclipses and stuff like that. So it's just interesting to watch how that progresses, even though that's just a small little note. And there's so many more bigger things going on this week. But on Tuesday, as the moon enters Cancer and opposes Saturn, I feel like this is going to be a really good time to kind of get sentimental. There's a lot that's going to be moving. We're having a new moon in Virgo this week, so we are going to have a lot of intentions being set. We're going to have a lot more clarity with things, especially because it's opposed Neptune. And as the moon goes into Cancer before this, I feel like this is going to be a really great time to kind of not necessarily get closure on anything, but really understand where your feelings are and to really kind of not necessarily restrict yourself in the way that you feel it. But with Saturn facing the moon right here, it is going to be kind of a serious look at what is sentimental, what means what to you, what do you have feelings for, what is going to, and not necessarily what do you have feelings for, because I feel like that was really general and vague. But with everything that's been kind of going on, with Mercury just getting out of shadow, Mars is direct, going through its shadow now, there's a lot that has been, you know, kind of twirling us around a lot in a lot of different places. And with the moon going into Cancer opposing Saturn, you know, what does this all mean to you? Are you letting this, you know, whatever you went through this summer, whatever has been going on, are you letting that restrict you? Or are you looking to nurture yourself some more, and where in areas where you kind of need it, where you can use that kind of sentimental nurturing, that caregiving, that empathy, I guess. And anyway, to move on from Tuesday, moon's gonna be in Cancer. It's gonna be not necessarily sad, but it's gonna be deep. So anyway, then we go into Wednesday. The moon will trine Jupiter while it's in Cancer. The moon will make its opposition to Mars, and it will start to square Venus. Whereas even though the moon will be trining Jupiter, where we're kind of being able to expose a little bit more of the truth, get a little bit more deeper meaning involved in things, as it opposes Mars and it squares Venus, we start to find ourselves in this area where it's like, you know, what do I really value? Where do I really want to take this? And after having this whole summer with, you know, because now we're talking about Venus here. Venus is in shadow, and now we have Mars, you know, now that it's direct, still in its shadow. We have this moon in Cancer kind of going, you know, where is everything kind of going? Am I really taking the reins here? Am I, you know, putting things in the way that I really want to? Or am I still getting caught up in certain things that I'm valuing that maybe you don't need to value anymore? Or maybe it's just not working for you. I don't know. It's kind of like, while Venus is in Libra in shadow, it's real complacent energy. It's real like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? We won't get to the I knows until Venus enters Scorpio, which, that's also this week. But by the way, I just posted my Venus retrograde 2018 video. If you guys haven't watched it yet, watch it after this. I go all in depth into the Venus retrograde to help you guys understand it and apply it a lot easier. But anyway, let's talk about Thursday, where Saturn goes direct, which is going to be, it's not like the most amazing thing ever, but the Saturn retrogrades, you know, once every year as it goes through its 3-year cycle in a sign. And as Saturn goes through its retrograde, a lot of its internal, a lot of the limiting things about Saturn, the structure, the depression, the overall overbearingness of Saturn becomes very internalized, and it becomes very hard to share that Saturn experience. And as Saturn goes direct, we have a little bit of easier time on ourselves on an internal level, where we're able to kind of apply ourselves a little bit better in a more efficient, a more Saturn way, a more disciplined way. Things are kind of going a little bit better. And as Saturn goes direct on the outside, it's more so you're going to find a lot more of the limitations and the Saturn type stuff like coming at you rather than coming from within. So that is good news. But as we go into Thursday, Mercury also enters Virgo, which which will then be starting to make a trine with Saturn and Uranus. And then we have Mercury out of shadow. Mercury's in its home sign of Virgo. It's wanting to get stuff done. It's going to feel very... not exciting, if depending if you really like to get things done and if you really like things to go really efficiently and kind of get your life together, then it will be exciting. But as Mercury goes through Virgo and we start to really take on the role of the, not necessarily the analytic, but the precise, the acute, the specific mindset around what we're kind of thinking, what we're kind of speaking, what's really going on in our heads, things that are moving fast. It's all going to be very specific now. It's going to be kind of making us utilize our full brains is the best way to say it. Mercury in Virgo is going to require a lot of mental force, a lot of drive, but it's going to be trining Saturn, trining Uranus. We have this energy to go about it. We have this energy to, you know, make it useful in some way and also be creative in a way that kind of gets it all done at the same time. So as Mercury enters Virgo, that's exciting. We're still talking about Thursday. Then the moon enters Leo, and that's going to be squaring Uranus. It's going to be opposing Mars and squaring Venus. And as the moon enters Leo, you're going to feel very confident in this. You're going to feel very proud about this. You're going to feel ready to go, especially as it's squaring Uranus and especially as it's opposing Mars. You're going to feel, it's just going to be a very charged up day. So I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, this is the best way to go about it. Like, just experience the chaoticness and all the fun and of Saturn going direct, Mercury going to Virgo, like, just have fun. Then on Friday, we have Mercury trining Saturn exactly and Uranus exactly at 2 degrees. We have the Sun opposing Neptune. Now, before, I don't know why I just went on to Sun opposing Neptune. I really want to talk about that. But let's talk about Mercury trine Saturn and Uranus. Now, as Mercury goes into it and has that nice little trine, that's going to be the time to really utilize that energy. You're going to feel it the day before on Thursday, but Friday you're going to know how to execute it, and it's going to feel a lot more smoother of a transition. But as, what was I going to say? As the Sun opposes Neptune, this is when it gets interesting though. Because the Sun's in Virgo, where we're kind of, that Virgo energy is kind of like radiating out, like it just kind of is at the moment, just kind of like, you know, when it's fall, or when it's winter, it's winter. It's Virgo season, that Virgo energy's there. It will be opposing Neptune exactly. Now, this is going to be interesting because as we had the Sun opposed Neptune, things are becoming a lot more clear. We're starting to kind of see past the facade, and it's going to feel a lot more empowering. But as the Sun opposes Neptune exactly, you know, you're probably going to see some stuff maybe you didn't see before, or maybe some stuff's going to be revealed to you that you weren't aware of, that you know, because you did the research, or you did the digging, or you did the work, whatever it was. Just be prepared for, you know, when the Sun opposes Virgo to when the Sun opposes Neptune to kind of like see some stuff, to kind of like become fully aware of stuff. It's not really a good or a bad thing. It kind of depends on how you take it, but it is just something to notice. Now, Friday, Moon squares Jupiter too. That's going to be kind of frustrating because as the Moon's in Leo, where it wants to be loud, proud, and, you know, bold, it's going to be squaring Jupiter, where it's like, hey, you know, kind of tame yourself. Where are you kind of taking all of this? Why are you putting your heart into everything? Only put your heart into things that really matter, and, you know, stuff like that. On Saturday, Moon will enter Virgo. The new moon will begin. We have the Moon opposing Mercury, conjuncting Mercury, trining Saturn and Uranus, and then Venus will square Mars. Now, as the moon enters Virgo and conjuncts Mercury, trines Saturn, Uranus, that's where a lot of that, you know, energy of what we were talking about with Mercury conjuncting, Mercury going into Virgo and trining Saturn, Uranus, that energy is going to come a little bit more, what's the word I want to look for, what I want to say? It's kind of like you're going to have all this energy to be doing things, and then things will accumulate to the moon going into Virgo, conjuncting Mercury, trining Saturn, trining Uranus. It's going to feel a lot more, you're going to feel a lot more ready, a lot more emotionally dedicated to what you're trying to commit yourself to, or what you're trying to accomplish here. Because, I mean, we are having this new moon in Virgo. It's just going to be a lot more in your face, a lot more in your mind, a lot more experience as the moon conjuncts Mercury first. Then Venus squares Mars exactly at 29 degrees Libra and Capricorn. This is also what I talk about in my Venus video. However, this is when things are going to become like, all right, what do I value? What do I want versus what am I doing about it? And this is going to be kind of coming up, especially with all this new moon in Virgo stuff about, you know, if you are trying to be more efficient, be more organized, be more critical, things like that, you have to come down to, what do I really want out of this experience, and what am I really doing to accomplish that? You know, if you're working hard all day long, you know, you can, and if you're like, you know, I hate work, I hate doing that stuff, it's kind of like, well, maybe you can work in a nicer way, or maybe you are too complacent at work and you're bored and you're like, I want more work to do, take on some more work. Stuff like that. It's going to be kind of a tense energy, but we still have more to go with that, and that's all in my Venus video, so just watch that. Sunday, we have the new moon in Virgo, we have Venus going into Scorpio, we have Mercury opposing Neptune, or at least beginning its opposition to Neptune. But on Sunday, as we have this new moon, we get to, oh, I hate saying set new intentions, but God, like, that's exactly what it feels like. That's exactly what feels natural to do, is, you know, really go, what is it time to do this month? What is it time to get focused on? Where can I put my emotional energy into? What can I really get comfortable on? What can I really level out? That's a good one to use. And as we experience that, Venus is going to go into Scorpio, where it's going to start its opposition to Uranus even more exact. You know, it's only 2 degrees away. It is now in shadow. It is now in detriment. It's going to become kind of serious. It's going to become kind of raw and real. It's Venus in Scorpio. She's not afraid to, you know, be like, you know, be spooky, be creepy, be weird. So as we experience that, kind of get ready for Sunday. It's going to be kind of a shift, like a move. But then on Monday, we have the moon entering Libra. It's going to be squaring Saturn and trining Mars, and Mars will then enter Aquarius, where it's still going to be in its shadow, but it's moving forward into a new sign, and we have new territory to work with. We have new creative energy to really flow with. We have new, the limits have been kind of thrown off, is the best way to say it. It's kind of like, yeah, Venus is a Scorpio now, but now you guys can kind of figure out how you want to get things done in your own creative way. And that's all going to be stuff from what we experienced with Mars retrograde throughout the summer as it goes through 0 to 9 degrees Aquarius. But that's for more time to talk about as we go on through the weeks. But that's what I got for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching all my videos, for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. I love you guys all so much. I'm sending you guys good energy all the time, and I'll be seeing you next week.